you obviously then had a whole re-education
Yeah.
that you've gained, right? What are some of the things you're most proud of that you've done with yourself?
I am very proud of the fact that I can recognize every thought and emotion and feeling that come to me or that come out of me as just that, and don't take them as fact. I don't react to my thoughts, feelings, and emotions immediately. I second guess, not second guess, but I reevaluate when I'm having an emotion or when I'm having a feeling or a thought pops up. I don't immediately just run with it, and I feel like that's incredibly dangerous, and it's caused a lot of negative experiences in my past. So the ability to stop myself in the middle of a thought and challenge if that thought is even valid, or if that thought is correct, or if I need to be thinking it, or if it has any business in my head, you know what I mean? I feel like it's very valuable. It has helped me tremendously in dealing with other people and dealing with myself, being able to be comfortable in my own skin.
Do you think it would have mattered where a person starts in their recovery? By that I mean whether their life is somewhat broken, a lot broken, or completely broken. Do you think it matters whether or not that person can experience recovery?
No, not at all. Now, I think that there is something to be said about having hit your bottom and realizing to yourself, and I think there's something to be said there. But all that really happens at that point is you're looking for a change. And I think that's the most important thing. If you ever get to a point where you're truly looking for a change, I feel like recovery is possible. It doesn't take, you to be broke. You can still have your house and your family and your cars and everything. But if there's something that you truly want to change, then I think, recovery is definitely possible.
You articulate this pretty well. Would you describe recovery then as just easy?
Definitely not. Oh, not even close. Especially early recovery, because I find that what's happening is you're having to do a complete reboot of your default settings. So, the things you run to when things get hard have to change.
I was going to say, what does that mean, default settings?
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So basically, when there's a situation that you don't like, whether that be with your spouse or in your family or with somebody on the street or somebody bumps into you or, you're in the courtroom or whatever the case may be, when there's a situation that is unfavorable to you, a lot of times people react in a way, and sometimes they feel that they have no control over that. I've heard people say, when this happens, I do this, and they do that. They really live like that. And I think that for me definitely had to change, and that was really tough to kind of rewire my mind and take a second, because that reaction happens so instantaneously, you're not thinking about it. And where you run when things get hard. So when things get hard, a lot of times people run to what makes them feel good, as opposed to addressing the situation and figuring out how to change the situation. They just run to their comforts. And if you're in recovery, you've built up these things that make you comfortable, that you think make you comfortable, or that numb some of the effects of what you're feeling, or whatever the case may be. And not having that default is very hard, especially when those things pop up that are, lifey, if you will, that are emotionally taxing or physically intimidating, or whatever the case may be. I feel like people in recovery, especially early recovery, when their life is really changing, it's almost inevitable that you're going to run into something that is troubling to you. You're going to run into an issue that is hard to deal with. And having however long a period of time of dealing with those kinds of things in a certain way, it makes it incredibly hard to not fall right back into it. So there's a mental battle going on, and if you're serious about recovery, that mental battle is going to be waging and pretty extreme. And I think that's what makes it really hard. things are still happening in your life. You know, you lose loved ones. You know, you try to reach out to your family members who you destroyed a relationship with, and they deny you. There's so many different things that can happen in recovery that are troubling and that are hurtful, and not using those old crutches takes a lot of strength and a lot of diligence. You know.
It reminds me of one of the many thousands of corny sayings we have in recovery. There's no growth in your comfort zone and no comfort in your growth zone.
Right.
So it sounds like you obviously put a lot of work in your recovery. I watched you recover, as I said, and I've seen a lot of growth in you, and I'm proud of what you've done, and I hope you continue on your journey. And we appreciate you sitting down and sharing your journey.
Thanks, Mike.